Hello, friends. Welcome to this second episode of Merc. In this episode, I am going to tell you from where the problem, the pathology, the disease of Merc begins. Okay. Now, in the first part, as we have already known, the strong aspects of Merc. You know how Merc personalities are. They're robust, they're strong, they're powerful, they're energetic, and they have got very bold ideas. Okay, bold ideas, I mean to say that they will take moves which generally people avoid. Okay, because they are the risk takers of our society. Those people who don't fear, they are the one who can challenge authority, who can challenge the routine code of conduct. Like in schools you will see such children who will not want to listen to the rules laid down by school if anywhere they feel that this is not correct, and they will be outspoken about it. They will frame new boundaries, they will frame new paths for people to follow, and they are the ones who are not just risk takers or bold out of the blue. They have got a proper logic to what they are doing, with the rubrics of objective, reasonable, reason power increased. They have found out things by their own studies, and they have seen the world, they have read about them, they have got inspiration from many strong people in our society, and that is how they feel that I should also do it, and I can also do it. So that is why, with danger, no sense of danger, audacity, courage, yes, and gambling, passion for gambling, where they can actually take up risks and they can try new ways. So that is why with their and we already discussed about the egotism. So in doing this, they have that sense of self-love, and they feel that yes, I have done it and I can do it, and I did this, and when I did this, so many people benefited out of it, and they really boast about such things, and they are the change makers of our society, I would say. So when such people, such powerful people, when anybody see when anybody does something outrightly bold, there are others who will pull them down. There are people who don't like it, and the authority, suppose say the principal or the teacher, would say, how can you do this, child? I mean, this was not told to you, you are just a monitor, so you only monitor the class, you don't break the rules or frame new rules on your own. So they will give their own justification, like a wife, if she wants to do things, and in-laws are not, they are very orthodox mindset, but this is they're intellectual people, no? So they are well read, they have done their own research work, and they have got their logic, full proof reasoning behind why they are doing this. But the orthodox, the conservative mindset, they cannot accept them. That is why even when Arvind Kejriwal became the chief minister, or when he came into limelight, our homeopaths were discussing that he is Merc, because he is the one who is taking things in his hand, and he wants to change the way our capital of India is, and framed new guidelines, new rules for the citizens to follow there. So these are such people. But when the problem is that such strong people, they have got very strong opposition also. When they are faced with opposition, what happens to Merc? And that is why it is compared with Hippar self also, because Hippar self is also very defensive. In the similar way, even Merc people are defensive, but both their defenses are in different directions. Hippar self is defensive to his loved ones, whereas Merc is defensive for the path that he's following, and he's feels and he says that, I'm doing it for others, and this is for my family or my society as a whole, my friends, and so many people are going to benefit out of it. And, when such people come into limelight, there is a strong opposition. That strong opposition is taken up by Merc as what? Then the ailments from begin. Ailments from ambition deceived. Like in last episode, I gave you example of Abhishek Bachchan and Guru. So you can see such change makers in our society who wants to defy the old laid down paths, and then they go out and they reach out to people and they say, no, this has to work in this way, and I will show you. Audacious, they have got the reasoning behind, they are very confident of what they are doing, and they will say, I will show you how to do it, and they will just leave the job, they will quit what they were doing, and they will make their own paths in their own ways. So when such ambitions get deceived in their path, if anybody who was accompanying them and deviates them from their path and lies to them and does things which they don't accept, that this was wrong, how could you do this to me, I was relying on you, and I had that belief that you would be there with me till the end. But then such people, when are not accompanied, are not supported, so ambition deceived, anger with indignation, ailments from egotism, that how can you talk to me like this? When the other people start opposing them, their ego gets crushed, and that is where the ailments from begin in Merc. Ailments from embarrassment. Embarrassment is where because they have a very high regard for themselves, and that is why any opposition is taken as embarrassment for Merc. And ailments from being offended. Now there is another set of ailments from in Merc, like discords, okay, similar to again Hippar self, where there are discords between chief and subordinates. Then why is Merc getting affected? Because he cannot support injustice. If there is a discord, Merc will get sensitized and he will rebel, he will be outspoken, and he will want to say that you are right, you are wrong. But that is where the equilibrium gets disturbed in Merc, because they want to defend, they want to change, and if there is a discord, it is difficult to make one's own path. Ailments from discords between parents also. So why parents are also affecting Merc? Because that is where from parents are the ones who give that kind of self-love and kind of identity to the child. So if there is a discord between parents also, Merc is the one to react. And a reaction in what way happens? Ailments from fright, ailments from surprises. Now what is this fright and surprises in Merc? So when there is a problem with embarrassment, egotism, when there are discords, all this is a fright for Merc, because what is fright? If you understand the physiology of fear and fright, now in Merc, there are many rubrics which are related directly with fright itself. Delirium, frightful, insanity from fright, delusion after fright, delusion sees frightful images, fear because of previous fright, excitement on waking as a fright, and fancies exaltation, frightful, frightened easily at trifles, restlessness with fear, anxiety after fright, anticipation stage fright, escape attempts to after fright. Now what is this fright in Merc? If you see a little bit of physiology, pathology, I'm trying to connect with this remedy, and you might find it little theoretical, but it is important to understand as a medico that in fright what happens, from where is the origin of fright, what is fright exactly. Because there are so many rubrics in it, I thought it is essential to first understand the physiology of fright. Okay, now there is a difference between fear and fright, as we all know. If for those students who are new into this system, I will repeat it. Fright is shock of sudden startling fear. So startling fear, something that startles, something that starts you. Oh, suddenly something happens, like you are just walking across the road and suddenly speedy vehicle crosses you and you're like, oh. And when you're taken aback, that's sudden. And then you'll be like, oh, I was saved. So this is how that shock of sudden startling. So next time when you cross the road, you'll be like prepared. I have to watch 10 times and then cross. So something unpleasant surprises you. So this surprise and fright, ailments from surprise and fright, is interconnected in Merck's Hall, because he doesn't expect anybody to oppose him. He is just going on with full vigor and he's wanting to do things. But when something like this comes up, he gets frightened, he gets surprised. Oh, I never expected this. And how come you, the one who was with me till now, is reacting like this? Discords in parents, discords here and there, and own people deceiving him. And that is taken as a surprise, because everyone doesn't have the guts to do things the way Merc wants to do. So this is the fright that actually starts a person. And where does it land, where does it bring an impact? Any situation outside brings an impact inside, right? Now this fear or fright actually affects the amygdala, the nut-shaped organ in the midbrain. So this is the emotional center of our body, the where the emotional processing takes place. Now the amygdala brings about a gives a signal on the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is a command center. Now this command center will activate what? The autonomic nervous system. Autonomic nervous system will bring about sympathetic stimulation that will affect the adrenocortical system in our body, and then there is a flight and fight response. Now in stimulation to this autonomic nervous system, there are around 30 hormones that get released, and out of which epinephrine, norepinephrine, dopamine, adrenocortical hormones. So all these hormones get released, and in this there are feel good hormones, there are other hormones which bring about wide range of changes in our body, like the pupils get dilated, the blood pressure shoots up, the sugar levels shoot up, okay, and insulin goes down. So sugar levels shoot up, and if a person is in this high blood pressure, then there is a profuse perspiration. So in this flight and fright response, there are so many changes taking place in our body, and if they persist for a very long time, this kind of effect persists in the mind for a very long time, and then these changes are continued for a very long time in our body, and that is how the pathology of Merc is taking place in the body. Wherever materia medica you see, whatever pathologies they have mentioned, this is because of this chronicity of impact of ailments from in Merc. So this is how he is like, how come this happened? How come this happened? And I never expected you to talk to me like this. And that is a fright, and that is why, why this fright is there. So even stage fright is there, right? What is this? This is unrealistic assessment of what is expected of you. There are very many reasons for stage fright to occur. Now what happens in Merc, I've just mentioned one of it, that what could happen, that he had unrealistic expectations out of himself, and he never assessed people in that way. Now this comes as a fright and a surprise for him. Now what happens after homeopathy is given, if you see the amygdala response to any kind of situation, because this is the emotional processing taking place over here, the emotions are again analyzed by our mind in different ways. Now there is a right amygdala and left amygdala segregation, which many scientists are still studying. Okay, now how homeopathy also works in such people. Now they say that in these two pathways there is a quick response to either fight, get aggressive, and that is seen in right amygdala dominant people. where they get physically into a fight, and they will abuse and they will hit, and all these things taking place, which take place in Merc's all kind of personalities. If you see that, they are outrightly rebellious, and they will go out and out, and they will fight and all, and they will react against the authority. Then there is the other side, where is the left amygdala, where more slowly the processes are it provides a feedback to the brain about the origin of disturbance, and then they counteract our fears. And then when something like this happens, like we are watching a scary movie, or we are just seeing children playing, and then we rationalize that, oh, this is just a movie, you don't have to be really scared per se. So this is reminding us that, this disturbance is an artificial disturbance, don't bother about it so much. So this is how it calls off the alarms, and this is a more thoughtful response, or left amygdala. So they say that women are more oriented towards such kind of responses, where they are more thoughtful, and they will not get physically aggressive, but they will internalize the fears, and they will think before reacting physically. They get scared, but they get less physical. So left amygdala is more dominant in anxiety or depressive patients, where they are only internalizing, and the processes are going on for a very long time. So when homeopathy is given, there is a balance between right and left amygdala. Now there are why I am mentioning all this is because in Merc's all, if you see, there are rubrics to both varieties. Now in this episode I am telling you some rubrics which are of the left amygdala dominant people, like anxiety and fear and fright. Okay, some of them, now when there is a fright and flight response, the patient wants to really escape because there is a danger. So first we saw that there is if I don't know if I mentioned it in the first episode or not, there is a rubric in Merc's all where there is danger, no sense of danger. So although there is a danger, he knows that, if I do this, it is going to have repercussions, but he doesn't care about it. He has no sense about it. He just goes and does things like, taking a speedy vehicle and just going out on a bumping road, and he says, oh, I'm enjoying the ride, and doing things which authorities are already challenging, and you say, I will do it and show you. Like, people go in a haunted house and they say, oh, I can do it, khatra and all that. They show that there is danger, no sense in some people. And then when they are opposed, when there is a sense of fear and fright, they want to escape attempts to leave the house for having committed a crime. Why having committed a crime? Fear of own impulses is also there in Merc's all, because they are reactive people. So they fear that if I do this, then what? There will be consequences. I can be expelled, and I can be debarred. So this is how they have the potential to commit a crime. They know that I can do it. They are very powerful people. So that is why they have that before I do anything wrong or sinful or crime, it is better I escape from such a situation. Confusion of mind while working. So such a confident person now has confusion of mind while working. Escape attempts to with excitement at night. Delusion suffers torments of hell without being able to explain. Why he cannot explain? Because around people have a mindset that they are bold people. And now how can they have such torments of hell? Means, why are they having such thoughts of fear and fright and anxiety and all? So this is something that nobody will understand, because they were taken as very bold people and strong people. Fear with desire to escape. Fear of symmetries, bed aversion to shuns bed. So there was a state where he was in his comfort zone and he was doing things in a very good flow. Now he wants to shun this bed, and he wants to get out of this comfort zone, and he wants to do things to safeguard himself and his people and his society, or to the kind of work that he has taken in his hand. So he wants to run away now. And then anxiety about salvation, about loss of his religious faith. So confusion of mind, losing his way in well-known streets. And cheerful alternating with want of sympathy. Single Merc sol is given in that. Now cheerful is the first state that we saw. Now after this cheerful, when these ailments from come in to picture, then there is a state of want of sympathy. Sympathy is what? When do we need sympathy, or when do we say that a person needs sympathy? So sympathy is again a sign where suppose a child who was running very fast and he falls down and he gets hurt, and everybody comes around, oh baby, you got hurt. So that is sympathy, and then people tell him that you should be more careful. Why did you run so fast? You should see before where are you putting your feet, and the ground was so wavy and there were puddles, and you should wear good quality shoes. And that is how that is what happens in Merc sol. That want of sympathy comes into picture, where people, that is why Merc sol, being such a strong person, is also there in carried desire to be carried. So when it strikes him that I should be more careful, how can I just go so carelessly, I was driving, or so carelessly I took over charge of this important work and this important issue, and I did not pay heed to the other challenges that could have I did not think of them, I just took it up. And so this is want of sympathy, where people are coming telling him things and saying, oh baby, take care, and be more careful now, and they are giving him suggestions. And this is how cheerful alternating with want of sympathy. So want of sympathy is actually healing him, and then when he recovers, he will want to go again and do those things which he was not allowed to do. Suppose exams were there, he did not study, and then marks come, and then he understands, oh, and then mama will sympathize with him that you should next time take care. And then when everything is done, again he is cheerful, and again that same thing repeats. So this is how it happens. And in this alternating state of cheerful, want of sympathy, and still not taking care, just taking sympathy, but he's so frivolous to take care of those things that it doesn't repeat in future. So if you see, Merc sol is a combination of strength as well as weakness, where there are a lot of fears, lot of anxiety about his relatives, and so many other things, and there is a sense of strength also. So he is the one, or she is the one, who is the caretaker of the family, the one on whom everyone relies and looks up to, that yes, she is there and there is no fear. And at the same time, this same person harbors so many fears and anxieties that should not affect his life and his people around. So we will see this further journey with help of some cases that I will narrate in the next episode. So I just hope that all this information helps you in getting a better insight on Merc sol. Do like, comment and subscribe. Your comments are very essential for me to understand how to go further, and all the very best. Do well. Bye.